I don't mind.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Equity
Oh.
Story. This is just general share advice. Wolf is absolutely exhausted, and I don't know. I think we should have recorded the last half an hour.
No, we should have.
Yeah,
That
that would have been me and Wolf have been going at each other like two whatever.
Basically, what it was, everyone, was pretty much someone knocking at the door and saying, "Hey, let me save you."
Yeah.
And you can substitute our religion for vaccinations.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's another story. Let's go with the story, because last night was
we better not say any more, can't we? Because it's most will be banned by the Australian government if we put anything truthfully out there and mention anything about the boosters and the vaccine and
all right.
and we're talking about obviously Trump, how much Wolf loves Trump and Biden,
and how much you love Biden,
and how much I love Biden. So anyway, Wolf, let's get going.
It's amazing how we've got two different opinions, yet we're pretty much spot on with our looking at shares. Just cool. Thank God we've got something in common, Dave.
Well, you know what? Just like you never liked technicals, eventually I change you, and eventually I'll turn you into much more of a.
Just like you never liked fundamentals, and all of a sudden you're a fundamentalist.
All right, AIM. So this was a hot stock. It's holding above water, Wolf, right?
Yes.
So I think hold it, because Morgan's came out today and they put a 70. What have we got here on AIM? We've got they reduced their target slightly, but they've got a 76. So even Morgan's think that this could double. You said the other day it could get to
easily double. Right? It can easily double just on being cheap. Not much else, right? It's just FOMO can move it up to 70 cents, and it still probably look pretty cheap.
So if
go on.
So if you're in that, basically hold it, right?
Yeah. Look, the thing is I just want to, in the context of things with AIM, yesterday we talked about it, right? The result wasn't as good as we hoped because they just missed that bloody thing and it didn't pop, right? Unfortunately. However, Dave said technically hold it. I agree with him. Technically hold it, because it might still do that, over the next few weeks if the market behaves itself and we still get that follow through on tech stocks. And by the way, Dave, can we just quickly, before we go on to the next stock, just quickly mention in the US, because it does lead into our tech space here. We're going to talk a bit more about tech stocks. Nasdaq again did quite well last night, and after market we had Amazon and Apple reports, and they were actually pretty good. They are popping post market close. So after market hours, I think Amazon's up 13% and Apple's about 3%. So potentially we've got another day of Nasdaq going positive on Friday, right? So that's good news for us because we are trending some of these smaller type stocks.
Well, you think the Nasdaq could be quite good tonight, wouldn't you?
Exactly. So if you're on a good wickets on some of these stocks, probably just give it another day.
Well said, Wolf. And that really leads us to the story that you spoke about yesterday.
The story of the week, I reckon.
Right, because you spent a lot of time looking at good stories. Yep. And the more you look at FCL, the more you like it. And okay, is it recovering? Not bad price action this week. But you know what? It is actually looking pretty good on that daily. You've got a nice stop loss, haven't you? Just somewhere. I mean, let's go, because I think it did bounce.
The thing is for me, right? And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the thing for me is it's a standout, right? Because I went through a lot of stocks yesterday, and I wanted to find something that it still hasn't popped. It's still got a long way to improve. It's cheap. It actually has some really decent revenues and it's growing. And like I said, I discarded a lot of stocks yesterday. I went through, some of the favorites like the NTOs, the Whispers, all the ones that are sort of, I thought, my God, this is good. I'm going to get, I want to buy it. But all the roads led me to FINIOS, funny enough. And there's a number-fold reason for that. One is it is only at 2.3 times revenues. This is cheap for a stock that's growing at about 30% revenue-wise, right? It is tier 2, which is decent. It's not a tier 3, thank God. It's a tier 2, right? It's got 180 million annualized revenues. I mean, it's not a small little penny punt where it's got 5 million revenues and you hope it's actually got substantial revenues already. And on that, and if you compare it to some of the others, I mean, this was probably in America, this surely would have been $1 billion stock by now, right? So for me, there's a lot of big runway here. So that's why I'm going to reiterate, this is the best tech recovery story for me that I can see right now.
All right, you got me excited, Wolf, because I like the chart, I like the story, I like the fact that you've gone through a lot of stories, and so we're reiterating this one. If you had a look at it and you didn't, we like it, and you know what, you've got decent risk reward. Okay, if it goes below 160, 159, you get out. What's it going to cost you? 10-12%, right?
Yep.
But
correct.
your possibility it could double.
Yeah, easily, right? And the thing is, just to add more fuel to the fire, I went through obviously FNRN to see what other brokers out there. And Macquarie is extremely bullish. I mean, they've got a price target of at least $2.50, I think, about almost $3. And they said that it's compared to its peers, it's 70% undervalued compared to its peers. So it just gives you more validation of I'm doing, a good research job on this.
All right, fantastic. SMR, little
yes.
coal play. We know coal is obviously trending at the moment.
Yep.
Again, they've had a pretty good valuation around that sort of $3 come on by one of the major brokers.
Yep.
I wouldn't buy it. I think if it jumped over $2, then I would get in. It just needs to do a little bit more on the charts. We spoke about Macquarie again, good announcements, and again, most of the brokers coming in around that, near highs really for target prices around that 200. And not looking too bad. I could argue if you're in it, it looks like it's breaking over trend, you'd be holding it. PLY, play side.
Yeah, decent result, Dave. Overall, fundamentally, you got to be happy with it. 30 million in revenues, just like we called it. So, God, we're brilliant. Well, I am. However, just a word of warning with this one. I'm not sure they can replicate this in FY24 unless they can really launch some, good games. And they do have a lot of on their plate in FY23, which is nice. But FY22 was helped by a one-off NFT launch, which I think gave them about almost 10 million in revenues, right? So can they come up? Because they went from 10 million days to 30 million. So that's like a 200% growth, right? I don't think they can replicate that. So just be wary of that. It's not going to be as fantastic this year.
But they had the beans, didn't they?
That's exactly right. They've got the beans, right?
How are your beans?
Not great.
So how you paid $1,000 for a bean?
Yes,
right.
It's gone like a third of that now.
And you told me it was going to be.
I was going to retire on my $1,000, right? But it's just gone.
It was going to be worth like 50,000, and now.
Yeah, I know. So I have to.
It's worth $300.
That's right. But you know what?
But listen, like you said, you're a genius. So I'm not denying that, Wolf. So Wolfie, you were going to show us one of your beans, did you?
Didn't I show you some beans?
But I think you bought some more beans, haven't you?
Yeah. I've got a few, but
are you going to keep buying them?
No. I'm not going to be buying them. I just got a few, just like insurance, just in case something miraculous happens in the next.
Did you buy a happy bean or a sad bean or?
It's one that presses the button, world destruction bean.
Is it one
very apt for me?
Is it like a pro-vaccine bean?
No.
Well, I believe in the vaccine.
No, it's one that, like I said, it's one that it's looking at the world as going.
Oh, you can't catch COVID if you've had the vaccine.
Anyway, play side is okay. I like that. I still like the company. They've got a lot on the plate. They're going to probably still do very well into FY23, but not as good as FY22. I think that's how I see it anyway.
And how do you find the two money lenders, Wiser and PGL?
Good. They're still growing, right? They're still growing, lending, and try to outdo the banks, trying to fill a niche or void, being a little bit cheaper, being online. Saying that, they're unprofitable still. PGL is better than Wiser at this stage with the cash flows, but at the end of the day, do you want to be still in this space when interest rates are rising, the bad debts are rising? So maybe just be careful with these trades on these things. I'd rather probably play something else at this stage.
Yeah. SDR, Wolf.
Look, I love this company. I have to say, this is probably top of my list. I want to buy. The only reason I can't buy this is just so expensive still, right? Even at 422, it's expensive. That's why I came back to that FCL. That was the better value proposition for me. But I like the company because it's global dominance in its space. That's what sort of attracts me to companies. I want to find a company that, not a monopoly, but at least it's market dominance. And this is, and in a space that really should get better with time when, we return back to our normal ways of traveling around without COVID and so on. So I like it. I like the results. It's growing quite nicely. It's the bottom line still quite heavily loss making. So yeah, I like it, but I just want to maybe buy it back at $4 or below.
Okay, or just buy take a different time.
Yeah, exactly. You'll take it $5 at plus. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right, Dave. Yeah.
Wolf, PTG.
Yes.
They announced yesterday. Now the chart's really weak, but again, it was a very, very good announcement. Just lightly traded, and the market's not really embracing this yet, is it?
Yeah, look, it will probably be flying under the radar until they get some liquidity, I think, because you get one seller gets out on the announcement, it goes down, but the actual announcement is excellent, right? So overall, brilliant. I think the only thing going against it right now is the fact that in the real estate market, and there's so many articles, media saying real estate's going down, la 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 la. This is not helping to their cause.
Now Dubba came out yesterday.
Yeah,
a tier 3.
Yes.
Very poor announcement. And I think that idea of just waiting for the announcement on this one was obviously proved right, Wolf.
Yeah, look, slow down in growth, and bottom line still so far backwards. It's not funny. I don't know how they're going to cut the costs here, because first of all, if you look at the cash flows, the staff costs are incredibly high, and then they've got a product development costs, goods are incredibly high. They have to get to about 100 million before they get anywhere in revenues. I think it's crazy. I don't know. Something doesn't add up to me. I like the technology and the business. And again, this is why we're interested in this, because the technology is probably best in its class. But I got to see the cash flow better than it is.
All right, Wolfie, NOV.
Yep.
Came out of announcement, obviously a weekly, daily sort of poke its little head up. So Novati, tell me about Novati, Wolfie.
Okay, Dave, it's up and coming fintech, right? It's not, fintechs at the moment for me are probably not a great place to go to, because we've got the interest rate rising and all those sort of things, but they're a little bit different than all the other things out there. They are more like a facilitator, for you to pay the payments between consumer and a business. And then there's a lot of businesses in this space, but it seems to be growing okay. The other maybe attractive, non-attractive, depends how you look at it, is they are getting into this cryptocurrency space as well. And they're launching their own currency called AUDD. So maybe someone, for some younger generation crypto bulls out there, something to have a look at as well. I don't mind it. Just say this is not bad because it's growing quite nicely. However, in the fintech space, probably I'd want to play something else.
Sorry, were you just encouraging someone to look at crypto?
I was saying that if anyone's young and likes their cryptos, this has got crypto attached to it. So
if someone's young and stupid and wants to lose their money.
Yeah, unlike you, we're old and wise.
I think we proved, Wolf, or the markets are proving that crypto is not a good investment and highly risky. So can we just go back in time and say no, not that story?
Saying that, cryptos have been bouncing pretty hard over the last 2 weeks due to the fact that the tech space is going up well.
Well, so's Z1P. That
exactly.
What does that mean?
It means that the FOMO still liked a bit of a punt.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that in a second. F5GG, Wolf.
It's decent. The thing is, for me, to take the next step, I think they've got to expand, get out of WA, because it's just WA based at the moment. And for me, I like the story at the beginning, but I thought they can go national quite quickly, but they haven't, right? So they're still stuck in WA.
Well, they weren't allowed out for a while. Give them a...
No, exactly. True.
Yeah, come on.
And everything else, right? Yeah. True. I agree. But they need to take the next step, need to expand, need to roll out, across Australia. The gaming stuff is going okay, but it looks a thing. So it's all moving along nicely. The fact was, at the beginning, it was just too expensive. It went, to $1.10, come back to 30 cents where it actually listed. So,
Wolf, quickly, PLS, a good announcement. The chart actually looks quite good. It looks like it could run up a little bit higher, this one.
Yeah, maybe. So two important things in there was, first of all, the production increased, always a big plus for a mining company, right? Second of all, the prices increased for them incredibly, almost doubled since the previous corresponding period. So, they should be really raking it in.
Now, Wolf, very quickly, we get a lot of people asking us about these buy now, pay later companies. So obviously Z1P. If you're going to trade these, what you've got to do is just, it's all FOMO. They're just running pretty high off these.
They're covering, I think.
Yeah. So you just got to look at the of 5-minute chart. I've actually looked at Z1P since it's had its big boom. It's the first time it's actually broken a 5 minutes. So most probably this story, and I'm looking at all that, and maybe the little FOMO jump we've had in some of these stocks is over, actually, Wolf.
Yep, I think the Reddit traders are getting out.
Yeah, look, definitely. Let's have a look. See, this was holding a 5 minute. I think they're just trading these off 5-minute charts, aren't they?
I'd say so. Oh, look, they're probably coordinating to buy and sell, and they're taking the profits, and unsuspecting mums and dads that got into it because thought that it's going up for a fundamental reason.
Yeah,
they're probably getting caught out now, unfortunately.
And that Sizzle, it's amazing. It was up at what, 140 or one just earlier today. Look at that on the 5 minute, right down there. Yeah. And if you can see if it breaks 104, then if it breaks 104, you go to the charts, then certainly you could be back down to 73 pretty quickly if it broke 104. And then if it you basically just use the chart to go, and then it's back to 46. So looking pretty scary, some of these stuff, Wolf. So I wouldn't be if you're trading them, that's for sure. Not at the moment.
Yep, agree.
All right. On that note, Wolfie, thank you very, very much. And we're back live in an hour.
Hey, can I just talk about one more stock, please? That really also caught my eye a little bit, and it's actually profitable in a tech space. We haven't looked at it before. We've find at a radar.
Go on.
Ready? RDY. We have talked about it previously, but it's starting to look very, very interesting.
Well, you know what? The weekly is good.
Yeah.
The daily is good. So
yes,
there's a trade up for 325 up to 350.
And
how much is that? Yeah, and the daily, I think it'll do it as well. So that's a nice little trade, Wolf.
Yeah, that's just for others. If you're looking for alternatives, because I know we plugged 3 or 4 stocks, but this is something we haven't really talked about. But it's actually almost getting closer to tier 1 because it's actually profitable.
Okay, it's a good little trade there. Definitely some good ideas there, Wolf. Well done. Nice to see you working and not polishing your rocks all day,
and not just arguing with you about Biden and Trump all the time.
Yeah, go on, go and have your booster.
Okay. My 5th one.
Yeah, just Wolf doesn't like me telling him that most people dying are the ones boosted, but anyway, c'est la vie. On that note, thanks.
Join us, please, in an hour. Well, less than an hour now, about 50 minutes for Us the Analyst. We're going to have a well of a time.
Thanks, Wolfie. See you, mate. Bye.